Throughout human history, there have been civilizations that were once powerful and prosperous but eventually disappeared, leaving behind various legacies. Today, we'll talk about one such civilization that existed in South America for nearly 4,000 years. Here are 10 interesting facts about the Maya. In the modern world, astrology is very popular, even though it doesn't really work. But all of this is nothing compared to the role astrology played in the Maya civilization. Astrologers were highly respected members of society who completely controlled people's lives. As soon as a child was born, a horoscope was immediately created, which predicted their future. The astrologer would tell the parents which profession their child was designed to pursue and who they should marry. Astrologers were like priests or spiritual advisors who guided people through life. However, the influence of the stars wasn't the real factor here. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine you're a Maya astrologer. Today, you learn that a boy and a girl were born in your village. First, you go to the boy's parents and tell them that their son will marry a specific girl on a certain date in a certain year. To meet her, the young man will have to go to a particular place at a specific time, 15-20 years from now. You give the same message to the girl's parents. As a result, when the young people grow up, they go to the specified location at the given time and meet each other. Very few dared to defy the astrologer's prediction, because people believed in its sacredness and inevitability. The Maya civilization had a very advanced understanding of mathematics, and they developed a highly efficient and accurate system of counting, which allowed them to create an incredibly precise calendar. It was so accurate that many modern people who believe in paranormal think it was passed down by an ancient, highly advanced civilization or even aliens. However, there is no real basis for believing such myths. The Maya calendar is also famous for causing a stir in the early 2000s. The reason is that this calendar ended in the year 2012, leading many astrologers, mystics, and pseudoscientists to claim that the world would end in 2012 and that the ancient Maya somehow knew this in advance. As we can see now, the world didn't end, and according to Maya calendar, 2012 was simply the end of an old era and the beginning of a new one. The Maya had unusual ideas about beauty. Flattened skulls were considered fashionable, so many children underwent a rather unpleasant procedure for their own good from a very young age. A mechanism made of two wooden boards was attached to their heads, gradually compressing their skulls to make them fashionable. Babies were strapped to special cradles made of two boards, with one board lying beneath them while the other pressed on their heads. This pressure was applied for several hours a day. The Maya also believed that cross-eyed people were cool because one of their main gods, the sun god, was cross-eyed. As a result, those with condition were considered special. Additionally, the Maya liked to insert precious stones into their teeth, a practice carried out by special trained people. The more precious stones a person had in their teeth, the more prestigious they were. To be not only cool but also scary, the Maya would file their teeth, making them sharp. On top of all of that, the Maya absolutely loved tattoos. Most people would cover a large portion of their bodies with them. You could tell a lot about a person just from their tattoos: what social class they were from, what they did for a living, what military achievements they had, and so on. Tattoos were kind of like a rite of passage for men. As for women, they got their first tattoos when they got married and became full-fledged members of society. And the best part, their parents were totally cool with it. Tooth filling, skull compression, tattoos. These procedures, as you can imagine, were pretty painful. However, the Maya civilization has surprisingly advanced understanding of medicine. Living in the tropics, they had access to a wide variety of plants with different properties. Maya doctors would brew special pain-relieving potions to ease the discomfort from all these beauty treatments. These doctors were also skilled in setting bones, assisting with childbirth to avoid high death rates, performing massages, and more. But what's interesting is that sometimes these doctors did the exact opposite. They spread diseases and poisoned their patients with special mixtures, causing them to slowly die. They were paid by priests and aristocrats who wanted to eliminate people they didn't like, or even entire villages that had fallen out of favor for one reason or another. The Hippocratic Oath, well, as you can see, the Maya doctors didn't exactly follow it. Psychoactive plants played a significant role in spiritual life of the Maya, especially hallucinogenic mushrooms, which induce intense hallucinations. These were used by spiritual leaders who communicate with spirits, as they believed, and to receive important information on various matter. The Maya civilization is known for its incredibly bloody sacrifices. They believed their gods craved blood, and to appease them, it was necessary to constantly offer new victims on altars. Finding sacrifice was never a problem, because becoming a victim for such a ritual was considered a highly honorable act. So there were plenty of volunteers. The sacrifices usually took place on special altars at the top of pyramids. A living volunteer would have their chest opened with a special obsidian knife, and their heart would be ripped out. As was typical for ancient peoples, a large group would gather to watch such spectacle. We can't deny their level of spirituality was truly out of control. The Maya civilization left behind a legacy of magnificent step pyramids, built with incredible precision. They were the pinnacle of architectural achievement at the time. These pyramids primarily served as altars for sacrifices. The Maya were not only American civilizations to build pyramids. In South America, you can find pyramids constructed by other similar civilizations, such as Aztecs and the Incans, who had similar beliefs about the gods and how to interact with them. Some South American pyramids, in terms of volume, meaning the amount of stone used in construction, actually surpassed the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Maya were one of the first civilizations to chronicle their history, generously decorating these records with colorful illustrations. Instead of paper, they used thin bark from fig trees. Their books contain all the knowledge available to them at that time, including subjects like mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. However, very little of this knowledge has survived to the present day. The reason for this is that shortly after Christopher Columbus discovered America, Spanish conquistadors arrived, bringing Christian missionaries with them, spreading the word of God and love for their neighbors. Driven by this love, the Spanish attempted to convert the Maya to the true faith and systematically eliminate all who disagreed. Along with the Maya people, their books, deemed by the Spanish as devilish writings, were burned in large bonfires. As a result, much of Maya history has been forever lost to time. The Maya civilization disappeared roughly 200 years after the arrival of the conquistadors. However, they were not the only cause of their decline. By the time Spanish arrived, the Maya were already in a deep decline, primarily due to environmental issues like deforestation for grazing, as well as drought, famine, and wars over resources. In addition to Christianity, the Spanish brought with them various European diseases such as flu, smallpox, and measles, to which the Maya, like other Native American peoples, had no immunity. These diseases quickly decimated the population, effectively doing the work for the Spanish and wiping out entire cities of indigenous people. This allowed the Spanish to claim their territories as property of the Spanish crown. Today, descendants of the Maya still live in various South American countries. Many continue to practice some of their ancestors' traditions, such as sacrifices, but they are no longer as they once were, and instead of people, animals are now offered to the gods. Apparently, Maya gods under the influence of modern times have become more humane and kind. I have a question for you. Imagine living in that era with today's knowledge. What would you teach the Maya? Thank you for watching. Please like and comment. It helps my channel more than you know. Stay strong and healthy. This is Natasha and see you tomorrow.